So, Southwest Airlines has released a new app that helps you track your baggage. Wait a minute. Isn't that Southwest Airlines' job? This is Epic Thoughts. How are you going to get me to get an app to find out where my baggage is? Didn't they know where my baggage is? What's up? It's Epic Thoughts. I'm your host, Ramon. Let's get going. Happy Tuesday to all my people who are watching us live. Listen, let's jump right into it today. It's going to be short and sweet. Got some stuff that I want to share with you, some stuff I want to go over. So I posted a video on Instagram last week. This is just a reel, and it was just an encouraging reel. I should have been more prepared. Prepared. That's what I said. I should have been more prepared. I sound like Forrest Gump if he was black, but I guess that'd be the other dude. What was Bubba Gump? Yeah. Anyways, I put a reel out on Instagram, and the reel was just like something real quick and inspirational, saying that you know a lot of time to do stuff and all that other stuff, and it was, I thought it was pretty cool, and got 18,000 stream, like it was viewed 18,000 times, and on the dashboard of my Instagram account it said that my page had 20,000 hits in the last 30 days. So that was pretty cool. So I didn't post anything weird out there, or I didn't say nothing controversial. And because I'm just the kind of person, like if someone comments something negative on it, it takes me a while to get off of that and move on with life. And it just bothers me. Like, I think comments should be just ripped apart, ripped away from social media in general, because people just say the meanest things just to get a rise out of you, trolls. And so again, I posted this reel. The reel was just like, hey, you can do it. You can be somebody greater, something that was like inspiring. And I had some weird comments that were like, didn't make sense. Like, I think they were in different languages. So, but I had one guy 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago. His comment was, who is this guy who runs a business but only has 1,000 followers? Why would I listen to him? And I looked at it, I was like, what? Like, what? And it was so like, at first I was going to delete it, but then I was like, you know what? I think people who talk stupid should be exposed for being stupid. So I left the post there. I left the comment there. And no one said anything to him because, we ignore stupid people for the most part. And what a troll, bro. He was such a troll. And I thought that was like weird, because this wasn't a post about our current Israeli/Palestine/ Hamas war. I didn't say nothing controversial about the Alphabet Club or feminism or Trump, like all the trigger stuff that's on social media. I didn't mention any of that stuff. This was just, and I purposely stay away from that stuff because, I'm like, I love everybody. Like I truly do care about most people. I truly care about all people. I really do. I care about them all. I care about people. So I didn't really want to get into that conversation. And, even for that, like, even people, sometimes I get like emails or DMs about, yo, you don't talk about, you don't really, really get into people's face about God stuff. I said, I do. I just don't get in their face in public, because I feel like the social media world is like Dave Chappelle said about Twitter. I don't think it's a real place. I think it's a place where people show you another version of themselves. And the reason why we're so jacked up as a culture is because we don't have no safe places to be real. And I don't think social media is a safe place, and I don't think it should be a place where you're real. So I am real. Don't get me wrong. It is a place to be real, but like not past a certain level for me. So when I tell you I care for you, I truly do care for you. When I say I root for you, I truly do root for you. I don't say stuff I don't believe in. I don't talk about stuff I don't want to have a conversation with 100,000 people at once about. I do share the gospel. There are some there, and on this show, I don't stray away from viewpoints that I find like goofy or out there. And, I've let it be known where I stand on certain subjects, and I've been really honest there. But that comment was just like it shows how messed up people are now. Like, it used to be I used to remember going to preach, and I would preach at a church, and then somebody would say something to me outside of the church that I said that offended them or made them upset. And most of the time I was able to figure out that they're just reflective of some kind of pain that's happened in their life. And I still believe that to a very strong extent this day. Like when people come at you crazy on social media, most 90% of the time it ain't got nothing to do with you. It got to do with something that they're dealing with personally. And so, this is an opportunity for them. They feel like to express their hurt and how pain they are and how jacked up their life is because of another situation that has nothing to do with you, but you just brought up, cinnamon. And "Hey, the man that beat me ate cinnamon," so it's just you're just the triggering reflective response, right? And so I find it very amusing that people can wake up and go through social media and get aroused, like angry, because somebody wanted to support them and be like, "You don't know what you're talking about. You only have 1,500 followers," and he only had 300 followers. So I don't know. I was going to respond to that was the other thing. I was going to respond, but I have this thing like you've never changed anybody's idea on social media, so I didn't respond. Yo, and you know what's funny? I was talking to my homie Carla about this the other day. I think it was yesterday. I was talking to her. So this happened yesterday. I was talking to her yesterday, and I do believe to some extent now that we've gone and we're in the day and age of social media, it is part of the culture. Like at one point, it was like trying to be part, or it was growing, and now it is. Now it is the culture. Like you think about it. You go if you watch the news, like the local news, not like CNN. No, CNN does it too, and Fox does it too. But if you watch the news, they report on stuff that you see on social media. So it's crazy. So it is part of our everyday culture and part of everyday life. And I am a fan of, or I'm a proponent of the likes and the followers and the numbers are empty. They're empty numbers. Like there's nothing to really bank on. Um, they're vain receipts is what they are. They're just vain receipts. However, there are some areas where those numbers are necessary and they need to be high and stuff like that, right? So like if I'm making a deal with Wendy's, you know, and Wendy's sees that I only got 15 or 17, I think between 15 and 1700 followers, they're gonna be like, oh no, we don't want to fool with this guy. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And they move on. So yeah, you do have to have the numbers. So, but somebody brought up a point yesterday. It was Carla. She goes, but you know what? Here's the deal. If social media was around, like 10 years, well, it was around 10 years ago, wasn't it? At the level of this, like if Instagram was around, I remember my MySpace page was popping, bro. I remember that. I remember my MySpace page was popping. And Facebook, not so much. But my MySpace page was killer, bro. I was killing MySpace. Anyways, that's the point. Like 10, 12, 15 years ago, I would have had the numbers of an influencer because of all the traveling I did, all the shows that I used to do, the amount of people that was going to my church, the amount of kids that were in my youth group, like those those numbers alone are clearly over 5,000. So, and just imagine just growing from there. Yeah, I'd have the followership. So it's not like and I'm like defending myself to a moron who got 300 followers who just woke out of the bed and woke up probably alone, probably broke, probably tried something and failed. And now his reaction is no one else can succeed or no one else can be happy because I'm not happy. And I get it. I've been there before. I've been that place where I'm just bitter and pessimistic and I just don't believe that things can happen for people. So I just, say what I'm gonna say and just let, I like to be that guy sometimes that like blows up the castle. Like, he's no good anyway. But you can't, man. Like, shout out to whoever that guy was, man. You are I pray for you. You know, I pray for you. This podcast is not going to be about that, though. I just wanted to bring that up because I thought that was interesting to start my podcast on because, yo, he was so like bitter, bro. He is so um bitter. He was mad. Anyways, thanks for coming and thanks for joining me today on Epic Thoughts. It is my pleasure that you are choosing to be here with me. And I got so many things to talk about, man. First things first, let's get some house cleaning stuff out the way. Man, I am so pumped about the new year. I hope you are too. Maybe we'll have a commercial next week, maybe not, who knows. I got a couple things that are starting up in the next year. Like you're not gonna it's gonna blow your mind. I'm really excited about next year, man. And Heritage Park is going through a whole new rebranding, and it's cool. And I've been really blessed about it too. I haven't talked too much about it, but I'm blessed about it because I got connected to some wonderful, wonderful people that are really joining me on the fight to I don't know what we're fighting for, but on the thing to make Heritage Park a global brand, and I'm really excited about it. Some brilliant minds, and I think sometimes you have to be. And I had to find a space with them to be vulnerable. Like I was like, this is the things that I fear, because they want to rebrand everything, like colors, logo, and I was like, some things. This is, and there was only like, to really be honest, there's only like one thing I want to change. Um, one thing I don't want to change, excuse me. There's only one thing about Heritage Park that I don't want to change, and we've really brought in some interesting people, and it was great. It was great. I can't really get into a lot of the detail because a lot of the stuff is like not ready to be released yet, but it was just a great conversation, and to have some good people, and it felt good. And I'm around good people all the time, so don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to diss the people I'm around all the time, but to hear people be like, yo, we're so down with this brand. We're going to do this, and we're going to take this to the next level. It was just really happy to see. It was really cool. And so I was really, really pleased about it. So, but that's just one thing, man. Like, there's something I may share it because I'm not debuting the idea until like this weekend. I'm doing an event here in Corona. If you're in the Corona area, come on out, man. We had the Quarterama this Friday night. You want to miss it? You don't want to miss it. You do want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. I'm gonna that at that location is over here in Corona at Connections Church. I'm going to share two major projects that Hope and Heritage Park are going to take on in the new year. And I can't wait. I can't wait to talk about it. And maybe I have some commercials and stuff for you for maybe next week or something. But you don't want to, bro. Like, if you are in the SoCal area, bro, we are. I feel like God's playing chess right now. Like, to be completely honest with you, God playing chess. He's taking pieces, he's moving pieces around. And there's, when you are when you're in a place where you have opportunity and you have talent, you have to be willing to be stretched and know when it's time to move. I felt like for the longest time I was just sitting here and not really doing anything, and I realized that was for a purpose. And now what God is moving and what God is doing, it's crazy. So I'm really excited. And I read the scripture the other day. I'm gonna read the scripture. This is actually Philippians Philippians chapter 2, verse 12 and 13. It says, what I'm getting at, I'm reading out of the message. What I'm getting at, friends, is that you should simply keep on doing what you've done from the beginning. When I was living among you, you lived in responsive obedience. Now that I'm separate from you, keep it up. Better yet, redouble your efforts. Be energetic in your life of salvation, reverent and sensitive before God. That energy is God's energy, and energy deep within you. God himself willing and working at you will give him the most pleasure. Actually, that's not the version I want you to read. I'll read the NIV. Okay. For it is God who works in you to will and to the act in order to fulfill his good purpose. I always thought, I used to hear people used to say this statement a lot. They would say, um, and I used to have this fear. I had this crazy fear, and I still do to this day, where I feel like God will ask me to do something I don't want to do. And yeah, there's stuff I don't want to do every day. Like there's people I don't want to call that I call. There's monies I pay for that I don't want to pay for. So there are elements to the call that I don't want to do. But I'm like, I don't want to be a railroad conductor. I hope God's not calling me to a railroad conductor. Or I this sounds so selfish. I hope I'm not married to somebody I'm not attracted to. I used to be afraid to marry somebody I'm not attracted to be with somebody I'm not attracted to. I'm like, oh God, please. I used to hear people tell me all the time. Like I have this one friend, true story. His first wife is drop dead, like boom boom. Okay. I don't know what that. Oh, I turned it off. Boom boom. She was drop dead. And he talks about it all the time. Man, my first wife was crazy. Woo! She was boom, boom. And then he was like, my second wife, this is one God wanted me to be with. I'm gonna be honest with you. And his first wife, they broke up. It's not like he was married to the first wife, but then God said, go be with her. They went through their thing, they got married, got divorced, had a kid, blah, 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 blah. And then he says all the time, he's like, but this is the one I want to be with. And then he would always say, and she's not as attractive as the other one. She's not as attractive as a lot of women. And I used to be like, God, please, whatever you do, don't send me somebody I'm not attracted to. That's gonna be rough, man. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me, Jesus. Don't do that to me. I don't know what to do. You send me somebody I'm not attracted to. But I used to always be concerned that I'd be like you know, a tire man at a race car pit stop or the popcorn guy at Edwards. And that was going to be my calling. I have called you to, catch puppies on the streets of Fontana. I'd be so miserable. And I was reading the scripture and I wish I knew which version I read because I would read that version because I'd read that version because that version makes it more clear. Maybe this is it amplified. For it is God who is effectively at work in you, both to will and to work. There it is, both to will and to work for his good pleasure. He's giving you the will and the work. So it's like he's not giving you something that you don't want to do. Like you have the ability to do it. Now, there are elements to your call that you don't want to do, right? There's elements to there's late nights, there's meetings. I hate meetings. Can I tell you much? Can I tell you this? I hate meetings, dude. I hate meetings so much because they never get anywhere and I just hate them. I've always hated meetings. I got a homie that all he wants to do is meet. One time, my homeboy, we were both doing ministry and we had different types of ministries, but they had the same age group. So I was like, yo, we should do like a football game. We should do a football game, flag football game. Your squad against my squad. We do it at this park at this time. You down? Yeah. You know what? Let's meet. What? I was so shocked. I didn't know what to say. Like, what you wanted me about? Like, we playing football on Saturday. But he wanted to get details. We playing 4 downs. How many possessions are we get? Like, he wanted to have a meeting. And you take the life out of something. I know the best way to take the life out of something is start having meetings. We're gonna have a meeting about this. We should meet about this. We're gonna meet about the meeting. And I have meetings all the time now. I had a meeting yesterday. I was supposed to have a meeting today at 1. It got moved to tomorrow at 12:30. And I got a meeting Friday morning. I got a meeting Saturday afternoon. Saturday afternoon. I got a meeting Saturday afternoon. I got a meeting on Sunday morning before church. I'm like, dude, I got all these meetings, man. I got all these meetings. And they kill me. They kill me. I can't. I can't. And when I was part of the mega church, we met every week. At one time, we met Thursday, and Thursdays was cool meeting. Like staff meeting was Thursday. But the problem with staff meeting was if you were assistant pastor, which I was, you would have your staff meeting would start at 9 a.m. and our staff meeting would just be the pastor staff or pastoral staff. So from 9 to 11 is pastoral staff. And then 9 to 11, 11:30ish. And then support staff came in the room at 12. And then we meet from 12 to 2. So it was like an all day dang thing. It was like, yo, my God, my man. And then it got to the point where one day I'll talk this in detail because that was an interesting part of my life working in a church, make a church. And then it got to the point where we would meet on, then we met after the staff meeting in the different departments. And Thursday was just meeting day. And when you get into the game, you're kind of, you take things as they are. And I was used to it after a while, but bro, my man, for 5 years, that's what we did every Thursday was that. And bro, I'd be happy as a mug when some days he'll bring in lunch or breakfast. I was like, yeah, but that was like maybe twice a year. And so what was crazy about those was and then Thursday night. So it was pastor staff and then pastor staff with the support staff and then departments meeting. And then that night, volunteer meeting. Real talk. Thursday was just a meeting day. And so I would lose my mind in there. I used to lose my mind in there. That's my fantasy football team telling me I lost. I would lose my mind in there. And then what made it worse was we used to I guess our senior pastor was like, we were throwing curveballs at him at the staff meeting, and he was just like, I didn't know he did this. I didn't know he was going to tell me this, blah, blah, blah. So then we started having pre-meeting meetings. No lie. No lie. We used to have pre-meeting meetings. So Wednesday at noon, we'd have the pre-meeting to prep for the Thursday meeting. Oh my gosh. That was so bad. That's when I started disconnecting. I don't know if this is my life, man. Because I think one of the last days when I was working there, I lost it in the Thursday meeting. I didn't lose it, but I was the kid. I was a young dude, and just do what I was told. And I sat there and I would just do what they were told, and I would only say something when someone asked me. And then one day I started to find out that the absurdity of an event that we were doing. It was just absurd to me. And I'll tell you what the event was. We were a very community-based church, so we did a lot of community-like events. And this certain event, we had gotten to the point where we were big. We were getting numbers, right? And I think we were bringing a couple thousand, maybe a handful of thousand a weekend. And we had 4 services. And this particular year, it was my last year at this church, and they had Super Bowl. And when we were a smaller church, Super Bowl was like an event because we were so tight knit. And we used to be like, okay, we're gonna watch the Super Bowl in the sanctuary, and people would be like, hooray! And then they would come, and it was like a cool little thing because we weren't that big. We were only like a couple hundred, so we were able to feed in the Super Bowl into the sanctuary, and people were watching, and we were just cool like that. But we weren't that church anymore. That just wasn't us no more. We had moved on up, and we were the big boys on the block. We were pushing in. We're herding people, and we're herding cattle. We're doing 4 services. We were doing the 4 services, and I was like, so they're talking about, what can they do to make the Super Bowl event big? And we stopped doing them, and then the idea came up, hey, let's put the game back on and in my mind, I knew it wasn't going to work because we weren't that group anymore. Everyone had families, people had other things to do, people wanted to go home and watch the Super Bowl. And then it was the first Sunday of the month. So then at our church at that time of the year, that time we would do a worship service for the first Sunday. So then the conversation came up, should we do a worship service? And some of the pastors were like, well, some of the people, they're not into football, so they'll come to the worship service. But then the numbers showed that we weren't doing good on the Sunday nights. And so I was just like, this is 5 years into this. I've done this for 5 years, and I'm just a quiet person at the time because, you're supposed to be young, know your place. But I'm looking at their numbers, and our numbers show that this is not a good idea. I'm a numbers guy. I'll see. Oh, so what did we do last quarter? Okay, that's what we did last quarter. So that means this quarter we can't do this. And so it just wrecked it. And they were talking about bringing in carnival rides, you know, uh, clowns, face painters. This is for the Super Bowl. I'm like, no, people want to watch the Super Bowl. And then I remember we had two cafes. Our church had two cafes. One that I ran as a youth cafe, and then there was like the main cafe. We were going to play the Super Bowl in both rooms, and then we are going to play the Super Bowl in the youth department and all this other stuff. And then I remember saying, what makes you think that they would come and spend the Super Bowl with us? I said, I don't understand what. And I said, and then our Sunday nights, no one comes to our Sunday nights. They're not going to come because it's Super Bowl. And yes, people don't watch football, but on the Super Bowl, they socialize with their friends. They go to their friend's house. They go to, women, a lot of wives who are not interested in football will sit there and they'll tolerate the Super Bowl. And I said, they'll do that. So I think the situation is we're gonna waste resources because the only people that are gonna be there is us. I like the timing was perfect on that. Bro, they stared at me like I just shot a pig and started porking it right there in front of everybody. And I remember that was one of my last weeks there. I think that was the beginning of the end for me. And to make the story even better, I was right. We did the event. And my man, I'm telling you, my friend, my woman, my friend, whatever, it was just us. There was nobody at this church. This church was a ghost town. We had all these prizes, we had all this food, and nobody but the pastoral staff was on location to watch this Super Bowl. I remember in the youth cafe, it was me, my girlfriend at the time, and my homie Corey. And Corey don't watch no football. He just had nowhere to go. So he watched it with me and my girlfriend. That was it. And the whole church was emptied. Like every room that every room that the game was playing, it was dead empty. And that was right. But anyways, it was stupid. Like we're in the meeting doing this. That's why I hate meetings because nothing ever gets done. And sometimes I if you ever watched a movie and be like, wow, they sat in the movie and said, this is a good idea. Yeah, The Rock doing Black Adam, this is gonna make us money. Yeah, that's good. I knew from the get-go that wasn't gonna work. That wasn't gonna work. Man, meetings. And I understand meetings are important. There's times where meetings are important, and I do have meetings, but man, no. I'm just not a meeting guy. I'm just not a meetings guy. Yeah. So we're going on to I'm going to read some of these fun questions. Some fun questions supported by our what used to be our sponsor, the Pod Books used to be our sponsor. So we're going to talk about a couple of those things too. But yeah, man. Why did I say that about the meetings? I don't know why I said that about the meetings. I just hate meetings. Did I tell you I hate meetings? I really, really do. I really do. You're right. So there's things about the purpose that God has in my life that I don't really enjoy and I'm not really a fan of. But the thing itself, I'm passionate about. And I got the energy to make this thing happen. I got the energy with God to make this thing happen. And so God is not going to tell you want to be a writer, but he's going to give you, a job as a lion tamer. And if he did give you the job as a lion tamer, there's probably a reason why, and it's probably a quick lesson. Get through it and learn. I've had so many weird random jobs that I literally have grown from. I've had weird jobs. Like there's days where I've been thinking about some of the work I've had, and I'm like, man, that was a weird job. Like some of the weird jobs I had a job when I lived in Arizona. I lived in Arizona for 2 years, and I was doing master's commission. So I was doing my ministry training out there. And every summer, I had a little side gig roofing houses. And let me tell you something, that was not fun at all. God, that was a bad idea. That was a really bad idea. Like, it's 110 and I'm on the roof roofing houses. It was oh, I can you can only do it like the cooler part of the summer. Like, we can only do it the cooler part. So we can only do like June. That's it. So I remember only doing it like 2 weeks out of the summer every year. That was a weird job. I actually had a job as I had a job as a basketball camp as a coach. And you ever had those fish out of water moments of those imposter syndromes? This is when I had my first imposter syndrome. I was a basketball coach at a basketball camp, and I don't know how I got the gig. I really, really don't. But I got the gig, and I'm coaching, basketball and stuff like this. It is a celebrities. It's a celebrities basketball camp. Like, I think it was like Cedric Sabalos or Charles Barkley. It was somebody like that. I know there's two different people, but somebody in that kind of frame. And it was based out of Arizona. And this is another job I had. It was weird. It was in Arizona. And I remember they were like, "We're gonna bring out the coaches. You guys ready to meet the coaches?" And all the kids like, "Yeah." So they brought out our coaches one by one. And from Masters Commission in Phoenix, Arizona, played from Chaffey College from 1995 to 97, and he's here to teach you guys all about the ins and outs of the game. Roman Merchant, yay! So I run out, I'm waving, and then I'm like, "This is true story." I'm waving at the kids, they're clapping, and I'm up there at center. And I'm not this big in that time frame. I'm still swole, but I'm still big, but I'm linebacker big, so I'm healthy big. So I'm up there, and I'm like, that was funny because I didn't see who the other coaches were, and this is exactly how it went down. I swear to you, I'm not kidding. So they called me out, and they did my little thing, and I was like, "That's cute," and they're like, "Yeah, it's cute." And then next thing I hear, just got drafted into the NBA for the Vancouver Grizzlies, bro. UA's own Michael Dickerson. And I'm like, Michael Dickerson? Michael Dickerson walks out, and I knew him from college because he played for UA. And at the church that we had the ministry school, his homie Mike Bibby, who also went to the league, they would run with us on Mondays. And so they would kill us. Like, Michael Dickerson was clean, and Bibby was a nasty. And they would bring some of the people from UA. I think that was the year. Oh, that's right. That's right. That was the year that the NBA went on a strike, and they only played like 50 games, so they had this time off. And so, yeah, I remember that was the year it was happening. And so he comes out, and I'm like, "Oh wow, that's cool. Michael Dickerson's here. Okay, cool." So me, Michael Dickerson. Now imagine I'm standing there. Michael Dickerson's like 6'2", 6'4", maybe. I'm 5'10", swole, and he's 6'4", clean. And then all of a sudden you hear the next person they introduces goes like this: two-time WNBA MVP Lisa Leslie. And I was like, Lisa Leslie? And Lisa Leslie runs out, and they're like, "Yeah!" I'm like, "What?" 3-point NBA champion Dan Marley. Yeah, here goes Dan Marley out. True story. Then Charles Barkley runs out, and I'm like, "Wait, why am I here?" And then you hear legendary NBA basketball player, Hall of Famer Bill Walton. Hooray! And I'm standing at center court with all these NBA and WNBA greats. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, how the hell did I get this job? So I've had these random weird jobs. And that's a true story. There was no other coach that was just like, you couldn't Google and find out who they are. So I was sitting there, and it was funny too, because of course, my team sucked the place up. We were god awful. I know the play you show me. I don't know how to create team. I don't know how to create plays in basketball. I know the play you show me, and I know how to put together a defense. Like, I can put together a defense, but you got to tell me to play. I can't make the play. Anyways, that's not my mind. My mind, I could do football. I could definitely do baseball, but basketball, that's just not, I can't. I can probably coach it now, better because I know a lot more, but I was like 20 at the time. That was crazy. Um, the fun part about that job, I remember that job, we would, of course, my team didn't win any games. And at the end, they did horse competition between the coaches. I'm literally on the floor playing horse with Dan Marley, Charles Barkley, Bill Walton, Mike Dickerson, Lisa Leslie. I think Cedric Sabalos was there. I'm pretty sure it was his camp, but Cedric Sabalos was there. And and we played horse, and I came in second. But not because it's not because I was knocking out players. I came in second because they knocked each other out, and I just kind of chilled in the back and made a shot here and there. But by the time it would get to me, the person before me already missed their shot, so it was cool. But then it got to the point where it was just me and Michael Dickerson, and he just shot me out the gym, like straight, just ORSE, because I think I just had H, and then he spelled the rest within 4 straight shots. So that was the end of that. But that was, that was one of those weird jobs I had. It was just a weird job, and I don't know what I learned out of it. It's just a great story. Talk about fish out of water, like that right there is imposter syndrome. There is no reason in the world I should have been around those great people, and I that moment always makes me laugh. It's just a funny. I don't even know how I got that job. I don't even know how I got it and how I got the phone call, but I was there, and that was that. I think maybe racism got me the job because they probably called the schools like, "Can you send us somebody who knows basketball?" And like, well, Tramel's not available. Send Ramon. pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he knows because Tramel should have been. It should have been Tramel. He's the basketball dude. I'm the football guy. But yeah, you're gonna have some random jobs, like random jobs, and I've had some cool ones, some fun ones, but they're just there to sometimes make money, sometimes to learn something. You'll find something that you'll be like, man, this was an interesting thing I just learned right now. I'll take that with me in the next stage. And you'll have career jobs where you'll be like, yo, this is it. And that changes on you too, because here's the deal, bro. You gotta find your purpose in life and you gotta live that sucker out. I don't care what anybody say. There is nothing more devastating than living a life that you have no purpose at, where you're not passionate about anything, you're not happy, you're just miserable, you're going nowhere in your career. That's just the worst feeling in the world. I had a really deep conversation with this man, my homie, yesterday. Um, my homie, he is a motivational speaker, travels all over the world, and he's got like 1 point something million followers on social media, and he's just telling me like, cause we've known each other for a while, and he's just like, yo, man, what you doing with your life? And I'm like, bro, I'm trying to take this thing to the next level, man. But you know, and people, we all have the same excuse, right? I'm trying to do this thing, but money, you know. And he's like, yo, you should not even, you should have been so far ahead of that that thing in front of you. You should have been so ahead of that problem. That problem should never have been here. You need to kind of get over yourself and get going. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, money rules, cash rule everything around me. He's like, no, bro, don't. Like, you do. You do. And he's like, you're doing yourself a disservice, man. Cause listen, and he was talking about like, the I'm a true hustler because I am. To form, I'm a true hustler. Yeah, I'll accept that. People say it all the time. Ro's a hustler. I am, but I hustle at the most. I hustle at the lowest level of hustle. Right. I physically go hustle. Like if I had a car, I'm doing Lyft or I'm doing Uber Eats, or if there's a gig, I'm doing the gig. You know what I'm saying? I'm always gonna figure out a way to bring in a couple dollars to make things to meet my family's needs, make sure my kids got a place to eat, place to live, and food to eat and stuff like that. I do that, but that's still at the very low end. Like you're physically doing labor to collect revenue, right? And in the 80s, 70s, 60s, and for the years to past, that was okay and that was very acceptable. And actually, that was the only way. But today, it's not like that, And here's the deal, bro. Like That's just like I said, it's the minimal way to make money. Physically work to get the money. The next level up is sales and not sales, like management and stuff like that. Stuff you need a degree for. And you know it's funny. Like he points out and goes, and didn't you get a degree this year? I said, yeah. And he goes, didn't you have a degree 10 years ago? I said, yeah. And he was okay. So here you have a degree, you have 2 degrees, 3 actually, and a certificate in 2 degrees, and yet you're still doing the minimal grinding physical labor to get the money. So you're not using your degrees. I was like, yeah. And he goes, then there's the level of communication. Are you up to that? And he goes, you communicate. You speak all the time. Your voice is heard everywhere. Like, and not only that, you're a rapper, you're an artist. So you have stuff that you put out that people hear. And it's crazy, right? And I said, yeah, it is crazy. And he goes, but yet here you are back down here doing physical labor. And then he goes, then there's the imaginators, the inventors, the innovators. He goes, you're one of them. You got Heritage Park. Now you have hope. These are things that you have a lot of dreams and passion for, and you've been imagining things, and you're a dreamer and you're innovative. Yeah. But yet you're not doing the imagination. You're not doing the communication. You're not doing the administration. You're still doing the bottom work. I was like, yo, that hit me, bro. That hit me right here between the eyes. He also sent some way out stuff about money, but I didn't want this podcast to be about money because someone told me that's all I talk about is money. But cash rule everything around me. No, but that hit me, man. I was like, yo, his fam, my man is right. He's accurate. Like, what else do people need? And so, I guess I'm talking to myself. That's why there's some things happening in the next couple of months. I don't even want to share it with you yet because I'm just like, I'm really pumped. But I'm sharing it with you. Like, what's gonna make the difference if you're not doing the thing that you feel like you're built to do, that you're birthed to do, and you haven't done it yet? What's the difference between today and next year? There is no difference except time. And time, I don't believe is a construct, but time is just a fleeting time bomb, bro. And time is nothing but ticks, man. That's all it is. Time is nothing but experience. And and for some people is money, and you're losing it. You're losing experience, you're losing money by not doing anything. And some of you are afraid to fail. Go fail, right? Fail. I'd rather people. I failed so many times in the things I'm passionate about, and it's not. And people are so ignorant. Like, just like the man that posted on my Instagram page who don't know me. He don't even follow me. He just wanted to comment on me. Failure doesn't mean you stop, bro. Failure means you just have to figure out another way, or maybe your plan just didn't work. I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna shut this thing down because I got work to do. So I've been doing music for a very long time. I said that like that because I like my voice. Sounds sexy, sounds smooth. No, I'm playing. I've been doing music for a very long time, right? For those of you who don't know, all my records are on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, and and just in the last 2 years, I've been feeling like there's a swell coming. There's been a swell. Like, my numbers have been up, and then they've been down. Like, I don't know what my numbers look like today. I'm pretty sure. Look, as I'm talking about it and bragging about it, I probably go look at my numbers and be like, yo, my numbers is awful. But I had one point, I had like 10,000 monthly listeners, and they've always kind of been in like my number of listeners has always kind of been like in the thousands. And then I got low and then became hundreds. And then it got back up to thousands. And so I was looking to see what my numbers look like today. My numbers today, here they are. This phone sucks. This phone, oh, there it is, Ramon. At least I got the blue check mark, right? So today is 1,081 monthly listeners, right? Which is not bad. My number one song is Still Living, Still Praying, 44,485 listeners. And then I got another song on here, Hood Stories, the reason I bring up Hit Stories, because Hit Stories is 33,589 streams. Those are organic. Like there are marketing plans behind. Actually, none of these songs are marketed. I think I Got It might be marketed, but Still Living, Still Praying, Millionaire Mindset, Two Worlds, and Hit Stories. Those are organic reaches, right? You won't see it on there, but they're organic reaches, meaning there was no money put behind any kind of marketing or advertising. So I market my music. So now that's what my numbers have came from, because I figured out marketing a little bit and started pushing the marketing. So just learning it. Like I didn't know it before, and I'm just like doing what most people do, just throw their music out. No, there's got to be a game plan, bro. And so even now we're working on I'm working on another album, but there's more than just you recording the song, putting it on Spotify, expect 1,000 people to listen to it. You gotta have a marketing plan. So I did have a marketing plan for I had a marketing plan for another song from the Dreams, Vision, Memories album. I'm trying to look to see what that other No Love. I Gotta No Love. So the marketing plan didn't work for No Love because people didn't think it was a good song, but it did. Now, but with that, I have all these songs that have got 33,000 streams, 44,000 streams. Those are organic streams, meaning that people went to my profile and was like, yo, I'm listening to this one. And, got these crazy now. And then I looked and you can, you have an account. You had to be a distributor or a production company to get the account, but I have an account that shows me where the songs are being played, where my demographics, all the other stuff. So I'm looking at, wow, I'm getting played in Great Britain. I'm getting played in England. This is crazy. I'm in 17 playlists. Which songs are in the playlist? And then I can see which songs are in the playlist, and it gets playing over and over again and gets shared. And then the publishing comes in and all this other stuff. So I learned how to do that through the years and not just keep running my wheels. What some people do, they just keep running their wheels. I say all that to say this. I last week was the first, and that's when royalties come. Like royalties come on the first. I mean, royalties are decent. They're not like right home and ooh, I'm excited about royalties. Like there's days I forget that it's there and I'm like, oh, royalty check. Cool. And it's probably enough to like go on a nice trip or not, sorry, go on a nice dinner. Somewhere like trip. No, they're like to the point where you could go on a nice dinner. If you want to take somebody out on a nice date, that's what my royalties look like that. If you take somebody to like, a 4-star restaurant, 5-star restaurant, it's like there, but it's just like you could take two. You can't take two and their kids. So November 1st come. And some things are going wrong, some things are going right business wise, and I'm just kind of like, man, I'm gonna get through this month. November sucks already and stuff first. And I go look at my bank account, and I go look in some of my other accounts, and I go, this account has a lot more money than it's supposed to have. Why is there so much money in this account? And then I go and do my research. I got the largest royalty check that I've ever got. November 1st, the largest by over 100%, like by over 100%. And normally it's not like I haven't gotten royalty checks like that. Normally, if I get royalty checks that look good like that, it's because Kevin did something good or somebody else's song did well. And, they gave Heritage Park that royalty, but that comes from a different department. I got two different, publishing the distribution payments. So I have one that's strictly Heritage Park. So it's like Kevin stuff, Carla stuff, people who make albums. That royalty comes from another end. And then I have Catapult that does my personal royalties. So when Catapult sends me a check, that's all 100% mine. When the other place gives me a check, they gotta give me a printout and say 50% or this percent belongs to Kevin, this belongs to Carla, this belongs to this. So I personally, this is from Catapult, sends me a check that's 100% more than any check that I've seen from Catapult. And I was like, yo. And because I did the job, I did the work, right? And it hit me like, yo, okay. And so now I was like, what's December going to look like? I hope if December looks like that, I'm going to be really thankful. I'll be really thankful. But like, pull up my MTV award. You guys love me. You really do. So there's ways to make your dream come true. it's not going to happen with you just sitting there waiting for it to happen. You got to put some work behind it, man. You got to put some hustle behind it. You got to put some hustle behind your muscle. You got to put some hustle behind what you're passionate about and make those things happen, man. And man, if you're lost, bro, and you don't know where to go, man, watch Epic Thoughts next week. That's all I'm gonna say. Just watch us next week. All right. Heritage Park PROD. That website is going to go through a facelift. Also in the new year, like I'm telling you, Heritage Park is be rebranding. We're going through renovation. We're going to go through mad renovation for the next 2 months, and it's going to be brand new. It's going to be brand new, and I got dope game plan, dope. And I'll tell you about it probably next week. Got to get some guests in here. Got some guests I've been lining up. Want to come and do a show. I just haven't. And then the other thing too, if you are in a position to do something great, you got to get out of your head. I have to get out of my head. My head is just, I like Tuesdays. I like my Tuesdays a certain way, and I don't like bringing extra people into my Tuesday because then I have to entertain extra people. So I don't like bringing people into my Tuesdays. However, I need to bring in these guests, but I'm very comfortable on Tuesdays doing things the way that I do them, which is why it's just me by myself in here, because sometimes I don't want to bring another person in here because it's my Tuesday. But that's not how life works, unfortunately. Heritage Park PROD is the website, and it got everything you need to know on that page. Go check it out. Christmas sales coming up soon. We'll have the Christmas gear hopefully next week on there. Also, if you want to get Christmas gifts through Heritage Park, we will have a brand new list of things you can grab. You have to make your orders. I just talked to them yesterday. You have to make your orders by December 10th for about 90% of 90% of the stuff I have on that page. You have to make your order by December 10th because we don't do overnight because of a lot of other stuff, but we do. But if you want, I think we do, but December 10th, you have to get your stuff in. And that's the guarantee that if you go on the lowest level of shipping, you'll get your stuff by Christmas. If you want to get some of the stuff that I have to back order overseas, you have to get that order in by like Thanksgiving time. All right. So I hate doing Christmas in November. I'm like, yo, let's eat some turkey first. But we're gonna have to do this. We're gonna have to do this to make this thing happen. We're gonna have some Christmas stuff up there. It's gonna be cool, new gear, cool gift ideas and stuff like that. But you gotta get your order in before December 10th, especially for the stuff that's local, so I can get it to you by Christmas Day. All right. God bless you, man. Have a great week. If you're in the Corona area, come to Quarterama. That's this Friday in Connection Church. If you're following me on any social media platforms, you'll see something that says Quarterama. It's going to raises money for the center that Heritage Park has adopted, Hope Recovery Center. We're revamping that in the new year too. Hope Recovery Center. We help people with herpes, habits, and addictions. And now we are doing so much more starting in the new year. And this is a way that we raise our money because it's a nonprofit. And some of you need, some of you have money that you want to help. So Hope Recovery Center is there for you. We help people with addictions. We have double A. We have AA meetings. We have OA meetings. We have Narcotics Anonymous. We have Bible study, but we're taking it to another level starting in January, or actually starting more in February. But if you're in the Corona area, if you're in the IE and you just wanted something to do Friday night, it's going to be fun. I got Mama's Kitchen's going to be there, and Mama's Kitchen makes the dopest tacos, even though I'm probably not going to eat them because I'm hardcore trying to lose this weight by the new year, bro. I'm trying to get fit fighting stance. But anyways, God bless you, man. Have a great week. I hope to see you soon. Hit me a message. Let me know where you're listening to me from. If you got questions and you want to ask, man, just send me a message on any of the platforms. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. heritageparkprod.com. There's a section also you can leave a message. Those who are watching me on the TV. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day. Peace.